How much time do we spend thinking about what we want to do in life? What job we want, what career we want to pursue? It's almost like this is what everyone tells you. This is what everyone puts in your mind, that we have to be so focused on, what do I want to do? What do I need to do? Instead of, who do I want to be? Who's the kind of person that I want to be? I think having this mindset shift from what I want to do to who do I want to be, like generally what kind of person do I want to be, I think it opens up your mind to everything. Because we live in a world where, again, all these things are kind of brought up in your mind, brought up in your childhood, brought up the idea that we need to be focused on a set goal. We need to be focused on our identity in something else other than who we truly are. And I think whenever you can understand who you are, whatever you were looking for, whatever is out there will be opened up to you a lot quicker and a lot easier, because you now have an idea of the kind of person that you are to be able to do something like that. So if anything, it's going to help you find out what you could do as a career, as a job, in my opinion. And that's kind of like a cheat code, honestly, if you think about it. And instead of focusing on our identity in ourselves, we're so focused on our identity in this world, and it's always going to leave us dry. It's always going to leave us short. We're never truly going to be able to fulfill that completely, and we're always going to be chasing more. We're always going to be wanting more. But whenever we can just take the time to reflect on who we are and the kind of person that we genuinely want to be, and a lot of the times it's not going to be easy by our standard, because ultimately, we're sinful beings. We're flawed creatures, and it's going to be hard to come up with the perfect idea of the person that we need to become, because we're the ones setting that standard, right? But whenever you seek God and you seek his guidance, whenever you look inwards for these answers, for these things, it's opened up to you in a way that you never saw before. And when I actually took the time to just look to God and ask guidance from him, seek guidance from him, he really showed me in every way possible the kind of man that I need to become, that I should become. Because a lot of the things that I want aren't necessarily what I need to be who God wants me to be. So if you take the time to generally just sit in thought and just to look inside, instead of looking outside for all these things that the world tells you, just look inside and think about, who's the kind of person that God wants me to be? It's a simple question, it really is, but it makes all the difference. And your eyes are opened up to just so much. And the thing about it is, we're no longer reliant on our path. Because our path, it might look very appealing, the things we want, but it's short and it's dangerous. But whenever we can look to God, his path is righteous, his path is good. And his path is always perfect. And it'll always align with what's to happen in this world. His path will always align with who we're meant to be. And it's not always picture perfect. It's not always clear, what we need to do or the kind of person that we exactly need to become. But you get ideas, and he shows you things over time that will allow you to open your mind up to the fact that, I gotta let go a lot of things that I'm doing right now in my life already, because that's completely limiting me from becoming the person that I could become in the future. And B, I forgot the B. He's going to give you opportunities to become the person who you can become. And from those opportunities, it's almost like he's testing you. It's almost like a test. It's almost like he wants to see what you're going to do in this situation. He wants to see if you're going to go back to your old ways and continue to go down that same path that was keeping you questioning and was keeping you from becoming the person who you need to become. Or it's going to be an opportunity for you to step out and do something different. But it's not always easy. It's not always perfect. But sorry, a bunch of girls just walked by. But if you can learn to look past that then it truly is a beautiful thing. I think I know one of them. That was kind of funny. Anyways, it's not always picture perfect. It's not always picture clear. But that's just how he works. He doesn't want it to be picture perfect because he wants to reveal to us things over time that will open our minds to, okay, that's what he wants me to do. And I think whenever that comes about, it'll be pretty obvious that that's the direction he's pointing us in. But until then, it's going to take some searching. It's going to take some inner work, if you will, to really understand the kind of person that you are and understand the kind of person you could become. And I think the most beautiful thing about it, the most beautiful part about it is that you now have the vision for who you could become. And whenever you see that, it's almost like, there's really no other way. Whenever you see that, it's almost like it's worth giving up everything for that, because you see how worth it is. You see the worth in becoming that version of yourself that you weren't even sure if it was possible to become, but now you see that, wow, like God has actually revealed to me that that's who he wants. Not only is that possible, but that's who he wants me to be. And if that's who he wants me to be, of course I want to lean on that. Of course I want to look into that and try my best to become that person. And I think just whenever we stop spending so much time, chasing the things that we want to do or chasing whatever job, and whenever we can just actually think about the kind of person that we want to be, think about the person that we are, I think whatever we pursue will be a lot easier because we now have that foundation in our lives, that foundation of who we truly are, and we're grounded in that way. And I think that'll just really instill inside of you, what's right, what's wrong, what's good for you, what's bad for you, what you like doing, what you don't like doing. And I think it's just a lot easier to really figure out and assess from there. But again, it's not always about the job or the career. Maybe you're called to travel. Maybe you're called to just serve. There's a lot of people out there that have a servant heart. And it doesn't always mean that, a lot of times it's hard to do that in a certain job that you might think that you need in your life to make a certain amount of money. But maybe to serve is just to do something that's way below what you thought it was before. Maybe you have to humble yourself a little bit. And that's the disappointing thing sometimes about how God works. But in the end, it's really good for you, is that a lot of the times you're going to be humbled and you're going to see that you were a little too cocky, or that you're going to see that you were drifted off your path a little bit. And he's going to show you something that's going to humble you. He's going to show you that, you know what, bro, you're really not all of that. All right, you're not the shit that you thought you were. And that feeling, it kind of sucks at first, but you're able to kind of stay grounded enough from that where you're like, you know what, you're right. I need to humble myself, because it's not always about me. It's about how I can serve others. It's about where God puts me. It's about what he wants me to do. It's not all about what we want to do. So it's not all about what you want to do. It's about who you can become, I think, is a better viewpoint of life, a better way of viewing life. Like, it's almost like people just think that's it, there's so many people that ask you, like, whenever you're out in the real world, per se, what do you do is the first thing you hear. What do you do? What do you do for work? Well, I'm a financial accountant. I'm a financial advisor. Okay, but you look like a geek. I'm just kidding. But it's like, that's crazy that this is just, it's so normalized that that's just what people think is life, Is that life? Is life your job? Is life your identity in the things of this world? Life is within you. And that's the beautiful thing, is that all these answers that we go out looking for, all these answers that we chase, all this spiral of curiosity that we look for and we go out seeking for. The answers truly lie within us. It's inside every single one of us. Maybe you're just not looking hard enough. Or maybe you're looking too hard. Most of us are probably looking too hard. Because if it's within us, it shouldn't be that hard to look for it, right? But it is, and you're going to have to do some self-searching. You're going to have to look inwards for those answers rather than looking outwards, because a lot of the times the world is going to point you in directions that aren't good for you, or directions that will keep you away from God. And if you want to grow closer to God, then look inwards, because He dwells within you, and He is the truth, the way, and the life. He provides all the wisdom you could look for. And that was a hard thing for me to grasp, was that I feel like I just need to do everything I could to learn things, to seem more knowledgeable about whatever, and just to seem more educated on things. When reality is, I was just looking outward for all these things rather than inward. And that's when I realized, when I started to look inward, it's almost like I became more elevated in a way, because my mind was just renewed to the fact that, you know, God is within me. And if He's the truth, if He is wisdom, why would I not search Him for that wisdom I was looking for? Why would I not look to Him for knowledge? Because He provides that for us. And so maybe you just got to look inwards to really find out who He wants you to be. But what does that look like? Obviously, spend time in prayer. You know, prayer doesn't always have to be like, Lord, give me this right now. I promise I'll be good. Like, that's how a lot of people treat prayer, as like He's a genie or something, which He's not. But a lot of times prayer is just being still. Just being still and listening to what He's trying to show you, what He's trying to tell you. Because if you can just, you know, turn your eyes off, just shut your mouth a little bit, be quiet and just listen, you know, He'll show you that He's within you. And when you can feel that peace, you know, you can really feel what He's trying to show you, really feel what He's trying to tell you. So maybe you just got to spend more time doing that. I think it'll help a lot when it comes to finding out truly the kind of person that you want to be. That's really what I got for this message, for this video. It's not about all that you do. It's not about the worth you put in this world. It's about the kind of person that you are, the kind of person you could become. And if you spend more time thinking about that, I can guarantee you that it'll be a lot easier for your mind to be opened up to truly what God has in store for you. So, sorry, I'm at a park right now, and all these people walking around getting kind of distracted. But thank God for watching this video. I hope this helped. If this is something you're battling with. If not, I think it's still very hopeful to keep in mind. But yeah, that's all I got for this video. Thank y'all for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one.